Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. Spending money can be an addiction. Spending money can be an addiction. I had to say that slow. That's one of those words I trip over sometimes. But anyway, on a more serious note, people can actually be addicted to spending money and not saving. There are people, they'll make a ton of money, even six figures, but have nothing to show for it. It's not just buying like a big house and a big car. I can halfway live with that. That makes sense. But they will buy little things. They won't save their money. I've seen this. Well, I ain't gonna put people's information out there. I'll just say I've seen it personally. I've witnessed it. That was never me, because I ain't gonna lie. Up until this point in life, I ain't have it like that. But that's kind of a blessing too, because, since I never had it like that. I mean, I had money. I was making money and everything, but never to the point I had a large disposable income. So I had to be thoughtful about how I spend. That's why even now I tell people I live on like 40 to 50% of my income. Only live on that. This might be less though when I think about it. But whatever the case, there's some people, they live above their means. Because they can do that because they'll not only spend the money in their paycheck, but they'll like max out credit cards and everything. They just spending. And they're addicted to it. And it's something to really take in consideration, because there are indeed people who are making money. It's one thing if you're poor and you spend it on basic survival and maybe little things. But you have a problem when you're spending money on things you really don't need or use. Like one of the common things I've seen I witnessed this, people will buy something and then never use it just to say they had it. And then I mentioned something about houses and cars. Now, people got to take that seriously, but there's been many a person who's bought a car that was really more than that they even needed, or, just to feel like they had money, or, they'll go to the clothing store or something, buy a bunch of shoes they might wear just one time or something, and indeed maybe get some stuff that they don't really need. It's like they got to spend it. And they also get in trouble. These are people who, like I knew this one young lady. I don't mind putting her out there. She was a little troublesome. I didn't date her or anything, but she was actually making more money than me with her regular job and part-time job, and still lived at home with her mom because she kept spending it. She would spend it. And people, when they do that, it should be seen as an addiction, just like gambling can be seen as an addiction, just like using illegal substances or engaging in certain behaviors, because the money isn't doing them any good. Now, if they spending the money on like educational things or, even spending it on food, I've heard about overeating addictions. Even spending that could be a problem. They trying to maybe feel something. They feel like they need that money to fill some type of void and everything. They need to do it. So it's something, when they do that, it makes it hard because, I always promote savings, when the key to making money is how you spend it. Now, if they spent that money on income producing assets, okay, that makes sense because then it makes more money. But people will tend to spend money on things that's not going to bring them any type of return. Maybe a brief psychological return. Yeah, I feel good. I can spend it. But it's like that high, because when you get that high, like from using illegal substances or even like engaging in sex, once you come down off the high, you're in trouble. You don't feel as good, then you got to chase that next high. And that's where the problem comes. But then that has some problems otherwise. What happens when there's an emergency? What happens when you're laid off your job? It psychologically can mess you up. And that's the thing. So that's important. See, when you spend the money, you got to look at it like a tool. You got to look at it like a tool. Okay, we all have to eat. You got to have some place to sleep, some decent clothing. But you still need to be wise with it. You always want, even if you're working a 9-to-5 job, at a minimum, should have at least a month's rent. Like at a minimum, you want to have more. They say 3 months, and I know it's tough. I would say at a minimum, or even a more minimum, because it's been said that half of Americans can't handle a $400 emergency. At least save that. And there's something you have to work on. You have to work on keeping going and everything. You have to I would say this one thing, definitely feed your savings. Definitely feed your savings and stuff, because that can help you, because it makes you become disciplined. You start thinking about where your money is going. And that can actually help you, because then you're not spending it willy-nilly. So you pay yourself first. And then all of a sudden, I say after a few months, maybe a few months to a year, depending on the severity of a case of just having that addiction, you will start getting in the habit of not spending your money the same way. And then as your money grows, you're going to feel good. You are going to feel good. It's like, wait a minute, I got all this money in and I'm still okay and stuff. Or, you say, well, I don't need that extra pair of shoes. I don't need that extra suit. I don't have to eat at that restaurant. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, wait a minute. But then what happens? You have money for emergencies. You have money to invest in a business. Or you have money, you just have a cushion just to say, hey, if something happens, I can handle it. I want you to think about that. And if you have that addiction, really look into it. Really look into it. Like I said, I know a lot of people personally going through it, and I see how they're suffering in so many ways. I really see how they're suffering. So anyway, that's all I have for today. I'll get back with you. So y'all know the deal. Let's go make that money.